Hey everybody, it's Rhonda with Beyond Scrapbooks. Welcome to the August show. I am going to be doing No Time for Gnomes today, which will feature our gnome fisherman, this little guy. We're going to show you how easy it is to put all the gnomes together. You can get a really good close-up of him there. I have one put together of him, but evidently he's hiding. I will also be showing you the other gnomes that we currently have available, and I will be telling you about a few new ones that are coming in the next couple of weeks. Depends on my schedule and if I ever get caught up on orders. You guys have overwhelmed me a little bit with orders for this one. So let's start off by giving this month's special. As usual, it's volume 10 for 10% off of a $50 order. Volume 20 gives you 20% off of an order of $100 or more. As usual, anything over $50 ships free. And during the next 2 weeks, the Fisherman Gnome will ship free regardless of whether that's the only thing you buy or not. I've decided to do that as a promotion for this little guy to kick you off on the right foot. So let's get started. Okay, so before we start, just disregard the paint on my hands. I'm having some remodeling done, and I had to paint the drywall before they could hang the new cabinets. So that's where I've been. And all right, so this is how your gnome comes packaged. He also, on the back, you will see there is a picture of the completed gnome. Make sure I get this down where you can see it. And you'll also see that it shows all the layers. And it starts with the black and it goes all the way down to white, which I think this one says light gray, but it's actually white. Let's see. Because I changed the color of the, yeah. So it says light gray, but it's actually white. I changed the color of the beard at the last minute. Okay, so what you'll also notice is you put this aside, but when you flip this over, all of your layers will come already in order. So what I normally do, and I'm not going to glue this one together because this is for an order. What I'm going to do is I'll show you. So we'll start with light gray, which is what it says, but it's actually the white. What I would do is I would take the next layer, which is the dark blue. I would put glue, especially on the smaller pieces, like on the rod and on the line and things like that, just enough to keep it together. And then you're going to line it up just like this so that you have no white showing on the outside edges. I mean, I don't think you can really avoid it because nobody's perfect except this gnome. But that's what it will look like when you glue the blue to the white. We look at this, and the next layer is gold. So here's the gold layer. And this one looks like it hasn't. What you might see on some of these is where I didn't get all the little teeny tiny pieces out. So what I would recommend doing is taking something like a small wire or a needle or something, get a mouse pad. Do not put your finger underneath this to poke this if you're using something sharp. I can tell you that for sure. And so you would just take and poke through any little places that I didn't get pulled out. A lot of times I have an awl that I use. It's a straight, solid piece. And I'll usually go through and pick out all the small pieces, but occasionally I miss one. So again, we're going to glue the back of the gold one. I don't do a whole lot of glue in this part. It's mainly around the edges, anywhere that it could come loose. And again, we're just going to line it up just like this, and you can start to see the blue showing through the yellow over here, and on the bucket, of course. The next layer is our light blue. So here's the light blue layer. Flip it over, glue wherever necessary. Check for small pieces. This one seems to have all the pieces out of it. This paper is a little bit easier to cut than some of the others. The yellow, because it's textured, or gold, because it's textured, is a little bit harder sometimes to cut, so it doesn't do as good a job. But again, what you're basically doing is you're building up all of these layers. So now I've got the gold is starting to show through on the hat, on the fish that's on the bucket, here on his shoe. So we're up to blue. Next layer is green, which would be this. It's really kind of a olivey green, I think. And again, flip it over. And on this one, I tried to make sure I got all of the outline of the fish and the line, and over here, these smaller lines, because that's going to be the part that you're going to kind of want to make sure it's stuck down so that it's like an outline. All you're doing is building this up. So now we've got our blue fish showing through with a greenish outline, which will change in a minute. But these are very, very similar to the ones that we did last time, the Hello Spring Kit. They're all layered gnomes. Okay, next color is red. I don't see any pieces that are stuck in there. So we're going to take this one. I would take a little bit more time and put glue on these fine lines, especially because those tend to shift a little bit when you put this down. So you're going to glue that and then lay this on top of all the previous layers. We're almost there. Okay, next layer is flesh. Well, not flesh, but it's what I call flesh. I believe it's called pigment, but it's basically a skin tone. This one, again, because there's so many fine lines, I would go through and do like the border lines, especially the finer lines, so that it doesn't slide. And I would probably put some on the nose, because that's going to be one of the last. That's going to be the last piece of the nose, or nose layer, whatever you want to call it. So that'll be like the stick. Okay, we're looking good. So now what we're going to do is, what I tend to think of this layer as is like in a coloring book, this is the outline layer. When I was a kid, I used to love to color because I liked the look of things that had that black outline. I don't know why. It just made them look crisper to me or something. So this one appears to have a little piece of paper that I didn't quite get. Most of these are pretty sturdy. Okay, I think I've got all of it. This one, I would definitely glue like all of these fine lines, because this is going to be the top layer and you don't want this to come loose. Most of the other ones are going to stay pretty well meshed together, but this one you'll want to get it on there good. And there you go. You have a finished gnome, the fisherman gnome. I think these are adorable. And because there's no small pieces, pretty much anybody can do this. You could probably use, I considered using like my repositionable tape runner, simply because, not on these, but on the lower levels, simply because there's a lot of expanse that you could cover with the tape runner, and it would work fairly easy. And it would be more forgiving. I've glued some of these together and had to pull them apart simply because I didn't get them quite layered up. Okay, there's the gnome. I'm not sure where we're at on time because my Fitbit has quit today. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put this guy back in. And the dog has decided that she needs attention, of course. Most of you know, you've heard me talk about Sophie before. Sophie is my 10-year-old pit who feels like she has to be really the center of attention. Okay, so let me show you the other gnomes that are currently, most of these are on the website, if not all. This would be the patriotic one. This is going to be the easiest one. I believe it only has 5 layers. We start with red, and then we go to white, blue, and then the flesh tone, of course, and then we finish off with the black. So that one's fairly easy, and this one could be used for a variety of things. If you wanted to send somebody a 4th of July card, it would be easy enough to put this one together, fasten it to a card, and you've got an adorable card. All of the gnomes, they're about 6 inches tall. They vary a little bit, but in order to get the most out of a sheet of paper, I tend to resize them down to somewhere between 5 3/4 and 6 inches. So there's the Patriot. We also, to go along with the Patriot, we have the Soldier. He may not be on the website yet. If he's not, I'm taping this on Tuesday night, so if he's not, I'm going to try to get him on before this actually airs on Friday. But this is the gnome Soldier. He is, I believe, 8 layers. He starts with a gray and works up. Okay, next up, this little guy's been really, really popular. This is the Fireman. And I think you can see where I didn't glue that down really good, but you get the impression. This one is 8 layers, and I think he's adorable. He's got the hose, he's got the little fire thing on his helmet, he's got the fire hydrant, and of course he's got the hose. This one is about 6 inches again, and he is definitely on the website because I have several orders sitting over here for him. Okay, here's one that I know I haven't put on the website as of tonight. It's the baseball player. He should be on there by the time this airs on Friday also. About 6 inches. Could be used for a variety of things. It could be used for your kids' sports pages. If you go to the ball game with the family and take pictures, this guy could work on that. He does come with the red and the blue hat. Right now I'm not offering different colors. That's kind of like standard for right now. At some point I may, but for right now it's a red and blue cap and a gold bat. And I believe the handle thing down here is a dark blue to match the hat. Okay. Next up, we have our first responders. We have the doctor and the nurse. I think the nurse is on the website. Doctor is not yet. I was trying to make sure that I could get him all cut before I did that. He, I think, is one of these is like 7 layers and the other one is 8. But as always, you always get a picture of the gnome and you get the layers in order, and they start with the top layer, like the black. There's only one that I can think of that won't have a black top, and that's because it has a black cat in it. That's a Halloween one that's going to come out. But for the most part, they all start with the black outline and they go down. The second layer is almost always the flesh tone, and then they go down from there. And these actually, the colors are coordinated. So if you have a doctor and nurse pictures, or if you want to use both of them, they will work. They're a light and a medium teal, and the nurse actually has a darker teal. On the pictures, on the video I'm looking at, it looks almost like a light blue, but they're actually more of a teal color. So keep that in mind. Okay. In addition to those, we also still have, for those of you who didn't do the last show, we also still have the Hello Spring kit, which has 2 gnomes. We have the Mr. Gnome. We have the Hello Spring title. You get 3 colors of cardstock with this kit. And you also get the She Gnome holding the flower pot. These are just like the other ones. They're all layered. This one does have smaller pieces like the flower, the green, the bows, things like that. But they're all diagrammed, so you should be able to do those with no problem. The diagram for those is a little bit different. I don't just list the order. I actually give you, here's the diagram of how to put these together. So there's that one. There's also the Congrats Grad, which is, this one has a male and a female. So this is page 1. You get the title with the tassel. You get the saying that you can mount. Get a piece of white. This one is the male, obviously, and this is the grad you get. This one I put together the way the person who designed the cutting kit specified, and I used like foam dots under there, so it's very much more dimensional. You can also use the foam dots with the other gnomes. If you want to add more dimension to them, that's entirely up to you. But this is the male graduate, and then this is his counterpart, the female graduate. On these, the beards are actually a gray, which is why I started with gray on the other gnomes, but switched to white. Her kit comes just exactly like this, but it comes with her in it. And you can kind of see the dimension, and you can see where I've used the foam dots, almost see the foam dots underneath there. And like I told them the last time when I did the Hello Spring, if you have a Xyron, I think that's what it's called, the thing where you put things through it and make stickers, I had a wider one, and I took like the white foam sheets that you can buy at Hobby Lobby or wherever for under $1, and I ran that through the Xyron, and then flipped it over and ran it back through again, and then cut it into pieces, and it made double-sided adhesive layers. Cheapest way you can possibly make layers is like that. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to be running early, but I do want to show a couple more things if I can find them. Okay, so those of you that were at Mega Meet have seen these already. These are not on the website yet, but they will be. These are the Tiny Dancers. These are the only 2 I have right this minute. They do come fully assembled, just like you see them. See if I can hold this one up. And I've done some chalking on them, so you see a little bit of pink on the cheeks and things like that. But these are adorable. There's also a new title that goes with them that says Tiny Dancer, and it's made to coordinate with the pink on the little tutus and on the ballet shoes. There's one other dancer who has brown hair, I think, that I don't have. I sold out of her at Mega Meet, and I haven't restocked her. But she will also be available on the website. Let's see. Okay, so I promised you that I would show you what's to come. Last time, when in, what was it, April, I did the spring gnomes, someone asked in the comments if I could do a bride and groom, and I found the cutting files for the bride and groom. These will be coming out in the next few weeks as soon as I can get them cut so I can fine-tune them. They won't be quite this, will they be? They're a little bit smaller. These are just printouts of the images. So you can see they'll be almost the same size. They will be, again, like 6 inches tall. You will be able to buy them separately or as a pair. I'm not sure how I'm going to set it up yet, but probably separately. And it's possible that there may be a kit to go with these in the future. I'm not real sure. But again, groom and bride. I think he's adorable with that hat. I mean, that hat is just too cool. Okay, so the next set up is Halloween time frame. And this one I call the pumpkin gnome. They call it the web, but because of the spider web and the spider. But I think he's cute with this little pumpkin. And then, of course, we have the little witch with her black cat. And this is one of those where the top layer would not be black. It'll probably be a dark gray, simply because the cat is already black. And it would lose the touches of that. These will be separate, and as usual, these will coordinate with the Too Cute to Spook kit. I try to keep all of my colors to coordinate with things that I already have. The fisherman that is featured this month will work with the hook, line, and sinker kit. Hook, line, and sinker. That's easy for you to say. But these will match. I will make sure the oranges, purples, and everything match the Too Cute to Spook when I cut those. This one is the soccer guy. Of course, he's so cool. He will, when I cut him, he'll be the 6-inch standard, but his hat will be the red and the dark blue, just like the baseball hat was. The stitching on his is blue, as opposed to the other one, which I think was gray or white. I'm not sure. But this one should be out in the next few weeks. Last but not least is the scuba guy. There's actually more gnomes in this to come, but they're probably going to be incorporated into a kit. I'm working on some new kits, but I wanted to try to get the gnomes all cut and out for you. This one's adorable. I love this little crab in the bucket. And just like all the others, this one will be all the layers. All you have to do is glue all the layers together. There's no small pieces or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's see, what else can I tell you? All of the gnomes I'm pricing them all the same at $6.50 each. They all come unassembled. They will all come with the diagram and the picture on the back, just like the fisherman did, where you'll have the picture of what the gnome looks like, and then you'll have the order of the layers. I think that's pretty much it. So if you haven't already, be sure to follow us at www.facebook.com/BeyondScrapbooks, or check us out on the website at www.beyondscrapbooks.com. We have the store open and ready for your orders. I generally, when I'm not swamped with orders like I was in the last week, typically your orders go out within 5 to 7 days. Occasionally they take longer. And for those of you who didn't receive your fisherman in time, I'm sorry. Like I said, I got slightly overrun with orders, so I'm catching up as fast as I can. But I always share the video that I do for the volume shows on the Facebook page, so you can always check it out easily. You don't have to search anywhere. All you have to do is go to the Beyond Scrapbooks page on Facebook, and that video will be there. Okay, so again, this is Rhonda with Beyond Scrapbooks. Be sure to join us for the next show. And I'm not sure what we're going to see next time. Maybe more gnomes, but probably a new kit. And we'll be doing a craft along again. So we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.